I'm so tired. Exhausted. Exhausted. Wish I had more energy for everyone who's about to be coming in. But I'm going to let y'all know now. It's been one of those days where I will be quick to either, I wouldn't say go off, talk nonsense, or who knows. It's just been one of those days, I guess. It's always one of those days. For me, anyway. Oh, hey, Christopher. Hey to Raven. How are you, dear? I saw your comment on the Books of Faces, and I try to avoid the George Washington Bridge like the plague. I hate it so much. Hey, Miss Stacy. Hi, NC Styles. What is up, Gold Phoenix? I was actually just talking about you today, Gold Phoenix. Everything delightful as always. But yeah, to Raven, I avoid the George Washington Bridge or whatever they call it now, like the plague. I hate it so much. Um, Prospect. Let me see. Was I in Virginia today? No, I was actually in New York today. So, wasn't me. Wasn't me. You would know if it was me. I'd probably be acting a fool, dancing out in the fuel island like I was earlier today. But you know how that goes. I see Stacy is stalking Miss Two Raven. Craig says he'll be going over the Tappan Zee Bridge tomorrow. Yeah, well, that was my original plan to take 287. That way I could go over the Tappan Zee instead of the George Washington. But it's horrible. Yeah, Gold Phoenix. I went from New York. I actually found a truck stop at the base of the bridge and stayed there last night. And first of all, never will I do that again. It was not only really busy, but I also felt very unsafe and had to be walked to the restroom by another trucker. But, the life of a female truck driver. And went to, where did I go? I had one stop in Connecticut and then another in Maine. So, Trucker John, Stacy says hello. Everyone, welcome Trucker John. Blast it says 3 to 5 a.m. only time I cross. What is up, Barry? I've been reading your DMs. They've been making me laugh. Gold Phoenix is the service area. Yes, I believe it is the service area. It is ridiculously busy, and I didn't get there until about 9 o'clock last night. So I ended up making a parking spot like always. Craig, I may or may not be around you right now, depending on where you are. So, yeah. All right. So we got a couple people in here. Stacy, I've been missing. Yeah, I've been missing you guys. Trucker John says reading from Texas. Trucker John, everyone on this channel knows I hate Texas, but we do love you, Trucker John. We do. Um, so I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about this because I feel like this is one thing that is really never brought up either between. Oh, I don't know why my headset just cut off. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me try this again. Okay. Are we even connected? No, of course we're not. Hold on, y'all. I was wondering why everything sounded really weird. That could be why, because I don't even have my headset on. So, NC Style says I sound better without it on. So, wait, does this sound better or did before sound better? Because now I have my headset on. I just want to know because this is a cheap headset, so. It sounds worse. Hi, Queen Lisa. Hi, baby girl. Without it? Okay, cool. Right, wait, right now. It sounds worse. I don't know.
This sounds better. We're just going to go with this because honestly, I'm feeling too lazy. But anyway, I wanted to mainly stress this to the new people trying to either deal with this, cope with this, or even the people thinking about coming into this industry. One thing that is never talked about between, school or orientation or I don't even know, like by peers, so other truck drivers, is mental health. Um, for some reason, this is one of the biggest industries that, we are supposed to be tough. We are supposed to not let anything bother us. We are supposed to be like, the long, lost cowboys who drive, 80,000-pound trucks. We're supposed to just be these basically hard people who don't have feelings, and I don't get it. I don't understand why this is not spoken about more. Um, it is such a big problem in this industry, and it really took me only a couple of months, if that, probably even a couple of weeks when I was still in training, to figure out that this is an issue. Chris Castle says anyone driving a truck is mental. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by is mental? You mean have mental issues? You mean may have anxiety or depression? Or are you throwing that around as a slur, mental meaning crazy? I just want to know. Just curious. Yes, and NC style is not just in the logistics industry, it's everywhere. Now, the reason why I think it's such a big issue, and I picked it to speak upon now, is we all have issues. Whether or not you want to admit it, whether or not you want to say you are that hard A super trucker and you don't have feelings, you don't get lonely, you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get stressed, you're lying. You are lying. I don't care who you are. This industry works on you mentally. And I know there are other occupations, other careers that are probably far worse. Like NC Styles said, law enforcement, I can only imagine. I'm sure firefighters, oh goodness, EMT workers, like I'm sure all of that mentally can drag you down. Um, Craig says, go talk to someone. All truck drivers like to talk. Craig, but sometimes talking is not enough because, like I said, none of this is actually talked about. It's just like the physical health aspect. It's ridiculous. It's like we're not supposed to feel anything at all, and I don't understand why this isn't talked about more. I want to use the small platform that I have to warn people like, if you are not mentally prepared for it, you will struggle. And I'm just going to say, personally, I wasn't prepared for it because I wasn't told about how lonely it gets. I wasn't told about how some places will stress you out to the point where you will literally eat like 2 pounds of food just to cope. And then guess what? Now you have a weight issue. And now that you're gaining weight, you're starting to get depressed. You're starting to have even more anxiety. You are now like using food or I don't know, some people alcohol. Of course, we're not supposed to. Or I don't know, maybe this is why we have such angry truck drivers. And I do believe that when someone flies by me or cuts me off, flicks me off, starts cussing me out over the CB or whatever it may be, that is where my mind goes to. They are just so miserable and they need an out. They need to take this out on someone because if they don't, they will probably, I don't want to say it, but end things for them. They might mess up their career. They might want to take their own life. And it's all because there is this stigma. There is this ideal vision of what a truck driver is, and I think it's absolutely insane. It's just insane. Like, truck drivers get this, like, tough and bad rep, but at the end of the day, we're still all people. We still all have some sort of family or some sort of reason to want to be home, but who's out here moving the country? We are. Who is out here working our butts off for weeks at a time when everyone else is enjoying life? They are going to pool parties, cookouts, enjoying their holidays, enjoying their kids, watching their kids graduate and grow up and win, awards. And all we can do is see it over FaceTime or over a phone call. I don't have children, but I cannot imagine missing milestones like that. I have always been a very social type of person, and the fact that I'm stuck in this truck 14 hours a day, it kills me. Yes, there are plenty of other people that I come into contact to who I can talk to, but at the same time, I mean, what is their motive? Most of the people I meet out here, there's only a couple of motives. They are lonely. They want someone to, I don't know, not be lonely with, which is fine. There are some people who want genuine friendship, and there are some people who only want one thing: the meats, the booty meats, the yams. So it's, I don't know. And I'm going to read some of these comments now because I'm reading this. Yes, exactly, Stacy. NC Style says, "Have I like seeked counseling?" Yes, I have. I was actually doing that before I kind of got into this, but I do it more so now. I'm not speaking on this because I am in a bad place per se. I'm speaking upon this because this has been, a stressful 2 days, and I just felt the need to kind of put it out there that it's normal and it is okay. I do recommend for everyone to seek counseling. There are so many places and people online that you can do now that you can literally FaceTime, you can text them. I have a therapist. She's a call away. I can text her at 2 a.m. and say, "Look, I need someone to talk to," and she is up. She's up. Um, If you get burnout, take a break, go sightseeing. I agree. I agree, NC Styles. Queen Lisa says sometimes you need support, someone to understand what you're going through. Great topic. Thank you, Miss Lisa. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Exactly. You see your kids and family doing things that you can't do. I'm reading comments, y'all. I'm sorry. Dakota says, "I've come to the conclusion that OTR isn't or shouldn't be a long term career because of mental and physical health you would be in. Do what you got to do over the road and get off." I have been preaching this since the beginning, since 2018 when I went to get my CDL. I told myself I would not be in this career over the road for no more than 5 years. No more than 5 years. My physical health has absolutely just declined. I mean, like, it's like I kicked him off the stairs, like, "Oh, whatever." And with that, my mental health suffered partly because of it. And I'm not letting that happen anymore because mentally I am in a place now where I'm exercising, I'm eating right, I'm losing weight, but some people don't come back from that. Um, the toughest thing about trucking is work-life balance and complicated docs. I agree. Oh, Queen Lisa, you are so sweet. Thank you. I'll definitely have to use that. And same to you. Definitely same to you. Um, Let me see. Craig, what do you mean am I quoting TV? What am I quoting? Lonnie, you better stop. You know what happened last time. Barry says we need a Tic Tac from the Fuel Island. That may be coming. I've actually wanted to um, do that actually. Oh, booty meat and yams, of course. Of course. Yes, that is taking it right out of that. What's the alternative to trucking? Not many jobs pay as good as trucking once you have experience going or up, even jobs that require college degrees. So NC Styles, this is the big problem. This is a problem that even I have run into because this also plays with my mind a lot. Um, I've always been told from a lot of the old head, super truckers, once you get in this industry, a lot of people don't get out. And that's not everyone. I'm not saying that's everyone, but some way, shape, or form, you will be using that CDL probably for the rest of your life. I did not believe it. I didn't believe it at all until I started realizing, like NC Styles said, where am I going to go that makes this much money a week? Let alone, like a month. I can take off, like I can work a couple weeks, take off a couple weeks, and be completely fine. Where am I going to get not only the freedom of, the open road, but where am I going to get this pay? And mentally, that will mess with you. I'm trying not to cuss, y'all. It will mess with you because that is what I'm thinking now because I wanted to go and start into the medical field within the next couple years. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to be getting a very large pay cut. And mentally, what does that do? That causes me to have doubts in what I want to do. Once I start doubting myself, that's when you feel the deep sadness, or even, some will explain it as depression. And then once that happens, you're not motivated. And when you have no motivation, guess what? What are you looking forward to? Nothing. You're not looking forward to anything. So what does that do to you mentally? You start lacking, you start not wanting to learn new information. Your mind becomes idle at this point. An idle mind will literally kill you. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't want to grow, if you don't want to learn something new every day or even every week, something is wrong. We are engineered to process new things, to learn new things. It is just something humans do. I mean, even animals. We can talk just the animal kingdom in general. So, for truckers, or even for non truckers, or for our employers to not talk about this is ridiculous. And I'm going to go a step further. For our employers to not provide an outlet for us or help us with this is even more ridiculous. Granted, they most of them do not understand what we go through in a day or a week or a month or years, however long we're out here. But what I will say is, if they listen, if they hear us, if they pay attention. I was one person who was bubbly, and I would talk to anyone, and I would just da 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 da. If they would pay attention every time I come in that office, the more quiet I would get, the shorter I would get, the more annoyed I would get. Ugh. That was partly because I figured out what, the office staff was about in the trucking industry. But another part of it was I was losing the light inside of me. And it was crazy because not one person noticed. And you know what? It's sad because even coming on here and saying this, I know I'm going to get, kickback from some people from this. But even when I spoke about the anxiety or depression that comes out of this, it's automatically, "Oh, well, are you safe to drive a truck?" That's a fair question. That is a fair question. Am I safe to drive a truck? Yes, I am. But I'm letting you know that if I don't get help, I will get burned out to the point where I don't want to drive this truck. Because money's nice the first month or two or three, but then you realize what is happening to your body. You start getting aches and pains in places you didn't even know you had. You start realizing your lower back muscles are completely diminished to the part where you can't stand more than an hour anymore. You have no lower back muscles. Your hips hurt. Your knees ache. Your face is getting fatter. You notice you have a double chin now. Your arms are flabby. It's like, then the mental part about yourself. You feel less of a person. You feel less of yourself. Now you want to give up because it's just it everything comes full circle. It starts literally as soon as you get in this truck. The mental aspect of it starts, I would say, in the training. And why is that? Because, especially as a female, when you're in training, it takes a lot of mental strength to get through it. I know there are some instances and some institutions and schools that have a lot more females. But when I went to, I was one of three females. Both of them were more of a dominant personality, if you know what I'm trying to dance around. They were very dominant. They were very strong, like their personalities were out there. They were very strong. I have a very strong personality, but I'm not dominant. I tend to sit back and chill out. Well, the mental aspect of training for a female, and I'll do men too, but it's you got to get over A, the fear of being the only female, B, feeling like everyone's staring at you, probably because they are, and then you have the men who want to treat you like you don't belong there. Mentally, as a woman, that messes with you. And let me tell you, this is a male dominated industry. It does not go away. Now, for me, I don't care about it anymore. I hold my head up and I am proud to be a woman. I am proud to be the one woman in a sea of, I don't know, 1,000 men. I'm proud to stand out because what I've realized is I am an inspiration for other women. I take so much pride in that. And that is the one thing that has saved me mentally out here because I know if I give up and if I quit, I can't be that inspirational woman anymore. And that's the thing. My biggest goal in life is to be someone and to help at least one person in my lifetime. If I can help one person, it makes everything all worth it. And how we're going to circle back to the mental part is whether man or woman, you have got to find your purpose out here. You have to find a purpose. If you don't, you will live a long, lonely, just sad life. And mentally, once I figured out my purpose for me being out here was to show not only grown women, but mainly my niece's generation. She's almost 4. But to show her generation and, kids younger than her that a woman is something to be proud of, especially a woman who can do something that a man kind of has control over. Now, I am not this, super feminist type person, and there's nothing wrong with feminists, I'm just saying. But I do believe it takes a strong woman to say, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not, and I'm going to do it better than you. And that is my purpose. I'm here to show everyone if you have the drive to do it, you will do it. Everyone thought I wasn't going to make it. And it's sad. Everyone thought I was not going to make it. And I understand why. I'm not mad at anyone who has told me that because at the end of the day, they are the ones who have pushed me to do this. I love doing things that people tell me I can't do. That is one thing that has always driven me to do better. And there are reasons why a lot of people didn't think I could do this. Um, my driving record sucked, which, that's a reasonable reason for people not to think I'd ever come out here, but it wasn't as bad as they thought it was. A lot of people, especially who knew me personally, they would always tell me, you can't emotionally handle it. That may be so, but guess what, MF? I'm here now and I'm doing it and I'm helping people do it. So, this is what I am here for. So, let's see. I see people giving prospects some props. So let's see what you said. I'll be the first to say I've seen some female truckers who can back and drive better than some men in this male dominated industry. I support all women truckers. I know it's not easy. Prospect, I just want to tell you thank you. I appreciate that more than anything. I know all the females on this page do as well. I'm not saying that females are better than men. I'm not saying men are better than women. All it boils down to is we all are able to learn our quote unquote craft better than someone else. Someone's always going to be better than you. Someone's always going to be prettier, more handsome, more fit, more, muscular, more this, more that than you. Always. And it is so nice to finally see a man who can own up and be like, you know what? I've seen some women who can do their thing. You know what? I've seen women. I've seen younger women and older women who can drive a truck better than me. Oh my goodness, I said it. Because I'm not the best at anything out here. Trust me. I've seen men who can literally back circles around me. I've seen a kid on Facebook back better than I could, and he was probably only 10 years old. It's ridiculous. I just, ugh. Barry says it's Driver Appreciation Week. Look, don't even get me started with that. I did get free popcorn for it today. All right. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm just reading comments. Thanks, Lonnie. Ooh, NC Styles, we're gonna have to talk about that. Put a pin in that. Do not let me forget it. Craig says, Lonnie, chill out. uh, all right, I need to go back to what Queen Lisa said because I meant to read her comment and I completely forgot what it said. Hold on, everyone. I'm sorry, Queen Lisa. I saw it earlier and I told myself I'd go back to it, and now I've completely lost it. Like, completely, completely lost it. It's been one of those days. Thank you to Raven. I just saw your comment too. Let's see. I think it was Queen Lisa that said something. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to stop wasting talking space. Okay, so back to NC Styles' comment. To be honest, we're probably the last generation of truck drivers. By 2050, most likely trucks will be automated. NC Styles. NC Styles. Me and you have been talking about this automation thing for a while now, and I think it's time to give my opinion real quick. I do believe trucks will become automated, most of them. I also believe that there are some specialties within this industry that are going to require some sort of operator. Do I agree that we are the last generation of truckers? Probably not. I do think there will probably be at least one more generation after us. But what I will say is, I do believe for the most part, we are the last ones to manually drive these, if that makes any sense. I think the next generation will get more into the engineering side of truck driving, which will probably have to do with more of technical things as well as knowing how to drive them in case something were to go wrong. Um, but yeah, I do think truck drivers are slowly being phased out, and I'm surprised this hasn't been talked about yet, but with the shortage of truck drivers, that is only speeding up the automation process. I have been telling everyone all this shortage is doing is just pushing and pushing and pushing that technology out to the point where it's going to come here faster than anyone else has even thought of. I mean, if you think about it, okay, there's a huge shortage right now, supposedly, of truck drivers. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons. A, no one wants to do this crappy job. I love my job, I do. But people are realizing that home time's important, physical health, all of your older truck drivers are now either dead, dying, or have high blood pressure to the point where they can't drive a truck. COVID has taken a lot of these older truck drivers off of the road, and let's face it, the younger generation does not have the motivation to do this. What young person, especially, okay, let's put it in retrospect here. I'm 23. I got my CDL at 18. I didn't start driving till I was what, 20, 21? Either way, what let's just say when I was 21, what 21-year-old do you know that does not want to partake in any recreational drug use, who does not want to drink, who does not want to hang out with friends, go to parties, do that kind of stuff? There are people out there, but honestly, personally, who do you know? Think about when you were 21. Were you that responsible? Were you responsible enough to say no to every drug, say no to like alcohol, to say no to parties because you had to go work, 6 days a week, 7 days a week? You would be gone for 3 months. I mean, seriously. So it's a tough one. There are not enough drivers, and there are way too many people who just don't want to work. And that has created the shortage. Now, with the shortage, people want more and more. There are more people sitting at home due to COVID. So what is that? Oh, I'm going to order on Amazon. I'm going to order something from here. Order something from here. I'm going to go shopping, this, that, and the other. Who delivers these things? Truck drivers. Who takes this stuff, these places? Truck drivers. Okay, well there's a shortage of truck drivers, but there's an influx of demand of products. What does this equal? This equals something needed to be fixed. Okay, how do we fix it? Automation, robots. A robot does not get tired. A robot does not stop. So, therefore, here we go. Automation is going to be pushed faster and harder than ever at this point because the quicker they can get out automation, the more materialistic things they can sell, they can make money on, and the less people they're going to have to pay to move their product. Now, NC Styles, that's just how I feel upon the subject, but I know I kind of went off the rails on that one. Podcast that I trying says he thinks it'll be two more generations, honestly. I could see that. Um, let's see, it'd be my generation, then one more, then one more. I think, and I completely agree with you, but I think by that second generation, most of them will be almost required to have degrees in technology or engineering simply because of the way these trucks are going to change. Um, let's see. Most kids now want to be a YouTuber, lol. NC Styles, look, I'm just going to say, I wanted to be a YouTuber, like a full-time YouTuber for the longest until I realized how much work it is. It is literally like having two full-time jobs. It is thinking of content, just trying to keep up with the days, and it is crazy. That's why I haven't been on here a lot. So, oh, Big Ash, thank you. That's all I want to do is just help someone. Um, let me see. What is happening? I agree, NC Styles. Horrible. Horrible. All right. So, going back to this mental health, because I'm trying to stay on topic. I did drop the link if anyone wants to come in and say anything about it. Um, I just wanted to mainly get on here and let a lot of the rookies know when you come into this, have a plan, have something that you are able to decompress in a healthy way. I know before I got in the truck, my biggest thing I would do is go to the gym. I mean, every day. Like when I got off of work, the first thing I would do is go get a salad and then go to the gym. That was where I would let out all the anger, all the like little anxiety monsters, or just let out all the words that anyone would say to me to the day. The gym helped me. Now, what I've picked up again, I've picked up reading. Every night, I try to read for at least 15 minutes, and every morning, I try to read for 15 minutes. That sets the tone for my day. Reading. It puts me in a whole nother world. It allows me to pause everything around me and focus. And for me, that helps my mental health more than anything. Exercise. Exercising is, I know my mother actually told me this the other day. What did she say? Is a natural decompressant. And I believe it because after I exercise, I feel amazing. I will just run around the parking lot like I did tonight, cry for 5 minutes. No one knows because it looks like I'm sweating, and then I'm done. Exercise. Find something that will allow you to decompress in a healthy way. I know a lot of kids, meaning a lot of people my age, what do they run to? Drugs, alcohol, sex, anything like that. That's not healthy. That creates more mental issues. What kind of issues? Depression, dissociation. And you definitely don't want to be dissociating while you're out here on the road. That is when it gets dangerous. And one thing no one wants to talk about either that goes hand in hand with mental health is being able to recognize when you are sick, meaning mentally sick. And when I say that, I mean it to the point where it is not a negative. If you are sick, you're sick. If you work a regular job, what do you do when you're sick? You take a day off. Out here, what do you do when you're sick? As in sick of traffic, sick of shippers, sick of receivers, sick of dispatch. We have to keep going. Do you know what that does to you mentally? Eventually, it will weigh you down. And the more weighed down you get, the more anxiety comes in, depression comes in, the lack of motivation you have. It is a vicious cycle of always having a pent up emotion. And it's dumb stuff. Like for me, I get frustrated with traffic. Don't let me miss a turn and get lost. Ooh, I get so frustrated. That stresses me out because I've been in some sticky situations. I've crossed open fords, as in creeks. I have went down dirt roads. It's a mess. If you don't find a way to decompress, to clear your mind, to relax, to quiet your mind, you will not make it. I'm sorry, that is just my opinion. I really think that the mental health and the physical health, they go hand in hand with one another. If you lose one, you will lose the other. And if you lose both, you will lose yourself. And that's not good. That's not good at all. What's up, Willis? How are you tonight? We are talking about mental health and the strain that this industry, um, does to our mental health, and the fact that no one wants to talk about this, just like physical health. Um, it's yeah, and to just again full circle around to our employers. Ooh, they honestly they should offer some sort of therapy, some hotline to talk to, someone licensed, not some Joe Schmo who just answers the phone and tells you to get over it. I do believe that because there are too many people, there are too many angry truck drivers out here taking out their miserable way of thinking out on other people. And these are the people in the CB that you hear calling people MFers. I get called the B word a lot. I don't know what I'd be doing apparently, but it's just a problem out here and no one wants to talk about it. No one warns the rookies about this, so I'm here to do that. Rookies, if y'all are still listening, uh-oh, we got a guest. Who is it? Ooh, hold on, Law. What is up?
Yo, 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 yo. Mic check 1, 2. Can you hear me good?
We can hear you.
I hope that air conditioner. I got an air conditioner right next to me, so I'm hoping it's not too loud.
No, I can't hear it. I don't know about everyone else, but I think you sound just crisp and fine.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So you on here talking about mental health and physical health and all of that, and how it pertains to trucking and everything, right? Am I right or no?
Yes. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk about how this is one subject, just like physical health, that for some reason truckers don't want to talk about, or either that or just ignore it completely.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of options out there. I just think that people, I think it's difficult once you get in a truck to actually do it. You know what I mean? Like I think that you can do it. I mean, it's doable. You know what I mean? Like these things are. It's not hard to do. Like work out or maintain a decent physical, you know, physical appearance, or even on the mental side. I mean, there's things you can do mentally to help yourself while you're in the truck, but physically for sure. Like, but I just don't think that people are like once they get in their truck, they just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like there's certain workouts, there's certain things you can do. Everybody goes to a ship or a receiver and it's a huge building, right?
Mhm.
Now at that huge building, there should be some big parking lot involved in that. And if you get out of the truck and walk around that parking lot, or even I don't know, jog around the parking lot, you'll find yourself losing that double chin that you were speaking about earlier, or whatever the case may be. But people don't want to do like they don't want to do that, and I get it because I don't want to do it. But you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do to get what you really really want. Like, and I do understand the aspect of it all. Like, far as certain people, they get in the trucking industry and you make good money or whatever the case may be, and you start letting your mental make you feel like, all right, well, I'm not in the best physical shape, but hell, I got money. I don't have to be, you know, sexy. I'm rich. You know what I mean? Or, I wouldn't say rich. You use that word, but you know how it goes. Like people with money usually don't have a problem finding companionship or anything in this world. Period. If you got the bread, then and I think a lot of truck drivers take that road. I mean, you start thinking to yourself like, hey, I got money. I don't care if I'm sexy.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's where, like I was speaking on too, your motivations and your prerogatives, they shift. Because when I was not a truck driver, like you were speaking of, I worked at a factory. I wanted to be the baddest female in that factory. I was in the best shape of my life. I was walking around and I was broke. I was broke as crap. But like you said, once I got out here, the motivation changed because I knew the longer I was behind this wheel, the more money I was making. The more money I was making, I thought it was going to make me happier. But mentally, yes, the financial side, it was so much ease to it. And that's where the physical health started to decline. And once that happened, the mental health followed. So I was no longer motivated to take the steps to be healthy, either mentally or physically. And I think that's the vicious cycle that starts with the people who come in because they don't know how to manage a clock. They are always, either running late or barely making their appointment time. So, of course, they're scrambling to call the dispatcher. They're trying to get in the dock and they're so stressed out after they get in that dock, they just sit there and they don't want to do anything. The motivation's lost at that point. And I think it's a vicious cycle that once, truck drivers or even anyone in any industry falls into, it's very hard to realize what has happened and it's even harder to change it.
It's very hard, and a lot of people make the mistake of going local, thinking that that's gonna fix it. Have you ever been local before, Faith, or just over the road,
I've
or just
mainly only done over the road.
and sort of, and some of that sometimes is it regional work for the most part? You in the same region for the most part sometimes, or no, or has it been just completely over the
Yes,
road?
it's mostly regional.
So people think that they can work like a regional gig or a local job, even worse, a local job, and think that it'll get better, that they'll have home time and they'll be at home and having like a real family, and they'll be able to go to the gym and do real people stuff like they work a regular 9 to 5, and it's just like, no, no, it doesn't get better. The same things that you could do over the road, you can do while you home. Way easier. It's way easier for over the road drivers to have mental and physical health than it is for local guys, or local truck drivers, should I say, not guys. But and a lot of people
Yeah,
don't
and
realize
so that yeah, I was about to say that completely like kind of flips the script even, with me thinking about it that way. I mean, we don't have to deal with the home life all the time, and that can put a big ease on mental stress and health. I mean, I don't worry about my finances. I don't worry necessarily what's going on at home. I think it's different once you have children. I don't have children, so kids are, not a worry, but it's being alone in itself is a very, it's clarity that a lot of people never experience. So I do agree with that.
yeah, it gives you a lot more mental stability being alone sometimes. Sometimes it could drive you up a wall, but you're not like at the part where like being a truck driver and being alone is not the same as being in like solitary confinement, which I've never been in a hole. I've been to jail before, but I've never been in a hole like where I'm just sitting in solitary confinement. But I've definitely been in a cell for 23, 23 and ones where they didn't let us out. Or some days they just wouldn't let us out. You know what I mean? So it happens. But it's a lot different. You know what I mean? In the trucking world, you can get out and stretch your legs and breathe air. You know what I mean? Breathe fresh air and feel free. You know what I mean? So it's a different mental strain when you're by yourself in a truck, because you do at least talk to somebody, whether it's somebody that is happy to see you or can't stand you when they see you. Because a lot of the time we go to these receivers and shippers and they're like, oh God, another damn driver. What the hell do you want? No, we ain't unloading you. No, we ain't got your load ready. Just get away from me. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you deal with that, but sometimes you actually deal with shippers and receivers that are like, man, we've been waiting on you. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get you in dock door 5 and let's get you loaded up so we can get this stuff out of here, or get that stuff out of the truck, because they want whatever you got, whatever you're hauling, they want it so badly. So, you know, you at least dealing with people. It's not that bad. But I get like being alone. Some people get depressed by it. I get it, but it's not as bad as like being alone, like I say, solitary confinement, or like, being in a jail cell in a, 4x6 or whatever it is, 6x6, 23 and one, where you just, in there by yourself, and it ain't shit. Like it ain't, that's literally nothing. You got a small ass window looking outside at maybe some grass. If you get locked up north, then it's just gonna be a bunch of white and blue out that damn window. Snow and a little bit of sky. That's about it. That's all you get. So, you know, I think
Mm.
people should count their blessings most of the time. But I also think, like I said, I think a lot of people, I just want people not to make the mistake of saying, well, I'm gonna go local and have a family life and I'll get to go to the gym and do all, be a regular person. Feel like I'm working a regular job. No, that's not how it works.
And it's crazy. I'm so glad you said that. I have been actually thinking that way here lately. Becoming
It's hard work.
possibly, a fuel hauler, but now that you're saying that, it's like I mean, you're still working the same amount of hours. You're still honestly the job's
It's
not going to
more.
change your mentality.
It's more. Depending on the city you live in, you're gonna work way more hours than OTR people. You guys have no idea. When y'all come off that road and try to do the local thing, you guys, or the regional thing, anytime you're trying to, because see, the objective when you're doing regional or local work, the objective is to start as early as hell in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and get home by anywhere between 5 and 7 at night, so that you can do it all over again. Now, That's
Ugh.
not even counting like if you get a blowout or a tire or something like that, you might have to do the 16-hour exemption, which I'm sure a lot of people are not even familiar with the 16-hour exemption because it doesn't exist in the OTR world. You cannot use that on your clock. But when you do local work, there is a such thing as a 16-hour exemption. Now, you use that 16-hour exemption because at the end of your logs, it's a button that you can press on your logs, on your electronic logs, to make sure that within that 16 hours, you'll be able to get back to your home destination. That's the only way that you can use it. If you try to extend your time long enough to get in more miles and you're not getting home, it's totally illegal. But they give you a 16-hour exemption. Now, let's say you use that 16-hour exemption, which I have used many a times. What does that leave you for sleep in a 24-hour period? It's easy math. 8 hours, correct? So you
Yes.
work 16 hours, okay? You haven't, and you haven't counted the hour commute, because if you live in a city setting and you actually, live in a decent city, like, I ain't gonna say a decent city, if you live in a metropolitan area, most likely you don't get to park at home. So you have to commute to the truck and then park the truck and commute home. So that doesn't count your commute. And depending on what type of city you live in, it could be near, far, or how the truck parking situation works. If you don't have any pilots or flying J's or, loves, any of that by your house, then you gotta, scram and find some type of parking situation that it's gonna cost you somewhere around 100 to 200 bucks a month, and even then, you're not guaranteed to find a spot that's close to your house. Now you're coming out of more money for parking. You're actually commuting to work because you can't just roll over out of the bunk and get down your road like, get down the road like you were doing when you were OTR. And that's not even counting, like I said, the time that you're spending working. If you have a 16-hour day because you had a blowout and it took the guy 2 hours to get there. So now you're tapping into that 16 hours. So what started as a regular 12-hour day where you got 11 hours of drive time, a half an hour for a break, and a half an hour for incidentals, which most of the time is going to be a lot more than a half an hour between the shipper, receiver, and all of that type of stuff. Now you're working on that, okay? Now you're working on the 2 hours. Now that's, you need the 2 hours just to load and unload. You know what I mean? If you're doing dropping pops, then yeah,
Yeah.
you probably could pull it off in like 30 minutes, on each stop. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to take a 30-minute break. And, depending on where your stops are, you usually can squeeze that 30-minute break in while you're doing your drop and pop. So if it works out that way, most of the time it does. If it works out that way, then you get to save a little momentum, you know what I mean, by taking your break and doing your drop and pop at a certain location and getting that 30 minutes in, and, maybe sitting around for 10 minutes because you've been done with the paperwork, 10, 20 minutes ago, because it don't take long to do a drop and pop, sign some paperwork, and, connect to the other trailer and pull it out. You know what I mean? It's not that long of a deal when you're doing dropping hooks. But if you can manage to do all of that and get your load together and all that and do your 30-minute break in that time span, then, you're working with a little bit more time, but you got 11 hours of drive time and 30 minutes on a break, and you got 2 hours in incidentals after all of that, you know what I mean? And 30 minutes to like pull over and pee or whatever the case may be, or if you got to get fuel. If you catch a blowout, that 2 hours is gone. So now you're working into the 16-hour exception rule. After that, it if it's a bad day like a blizzard, the guy might take longer than 2 hours. Now, anytime over 2 hours, now you tapping into your 16-hour rule, and you don't know if you're going to get home. Even if you did get home, like I said, 16 hours, that leaves you 8 hours of time on a 24-hour period. You're working every day. You got to get in a certain amount of hours every day. You got to get a low, it pushes your clock back. So you're getting home later. You're definitely not spending no time with the kids. You're going to work when it's dark. You're getting off when it's dark. Um, you're lucky if your kid plays a sport that involves you being home on Fridays, because then most likely You got weekends off. Most truck drivers got weekends off unless they, local guys, they got weekends off unless they're greedy and they work Saturdays and try to get the 6 days in and then do a 34-hour reset on Sunday, late Saturday to Sunday. Well, should I say late Saturday to Monday morning, you squeeze your 34 hours in. But it ain't like it's much home time. Like I say, you run into days where you get that 16 hours, that's 8 hours. You got 2 extra hours that you got to do to make up for that pushes your day back so that you can get a 10-hour rest period. Now you're rushing the next day to constantly get back. Because now you can't start your clock to 7 o'clock. So now you making you like kind of like you're thinking in your head the whole time when you start your day at 7 o'clock, like shit, I gotta get back at 7 so I can get back to my getting up at 5. So if you get off at 7, 10 hours, that's 5 o'clock the next morning. That puts you back in, the rhythm. But chances are, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing intermodal or I don't know, I can't really speak on people that deliver for like Pepsi and shit, made a million stops. You know what I mean? I can only speak on people that made like, that did like local work for us, like going out 5 or 6 hours with something from the rail yard or anywhere, any dock or whatever. Go out 5 hours, come back 5 hours. You got pretty much 10 to 11 hours of drive. And then whatever you got to do at the rail yards or the shippers and receivers, you banking that shit on off duty. And well, now you can do it on duty because of the rule change with the clock. But before, you banking most of that shit on off duty and trying to get in as much of your break in while you're actually still working. Not to mention if you live in a city that I live in, like Chicago, they fucking hate truck drivers out here. They hate us. Can't park
I
in the
can
city.
only, yeah,
So if you're thinking about
that's a
going
rough
local,
city.
if you're thinking about going local, make sure you're talking to somebody. Make sure you got a local mentor. That's all I'm saying. Because people think that they're
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
mean,
local and live a home life and think that it's gonna be easier. It's way harder. OTR is a piece of cake. You guys might not. If you go OT when you're OTR, do you bump a dock every day?
no,
Do you deal with tight parking every day? A tight
not
ass
every
spot.
day.
When you local, you're doing that sometimes two, three, four. You might park in something tight 2 or 3 times a day. You might bump 2 or 3 docks a day, you know, a day, every day. You got to deal with
Not to mention, if
shippers and
you're
receivers.
not like a people, exactly. If
Got time.
you know
Yep.
how a lot of truck drivers get, they're not very sociable and they lose a lot of their people skills. And at that point, you're going to have people skills. You're going to be at those
They're
shippers and
ornery
receivers.
assholes. They're ornery
Yep.
assholes, and they end up sitting in their cab by themselves, looking stupid because they got an attitude with the person at the ship or the receiver. And now they're not getting loaded. Where a guy like me, I'm gonna do a little bit of cracking jokes and being bumping elbows with people and trying to get my ass in there and get out. I'm trying to build relationships at these places so that I can get in and get out. So I know the ropes, and I'm asking the people there, and I'm being as nice as I can, and I'm asking the people there, hey, usually I come in here and I do this. Is that a bad thing? Like asking them, like, is that a bad thing? Would you rather me do something else, or anytime they need something like, hey, could you pull that trailer out for us? Or what? Yeah, sure. Where you want me to put it? And then okay, and then my load will be over there. Cool, I'll do that for you, no problem. Or if they need some help with something or some shit, like anything, yeah, cool. Because that next time you come back in, that's not a guarantee. It's not nothing's guaranteed in life. But that next time you come in, they're gonna remember who you are because of your smile or because of something you said. It's always good to have an inside joke, like when you come in, you guys have some type of event that you guys shared with one another that's funny, and you get to call that shipper or receiver by that name, like what's up now later, something like that, because you called them just eating now later. So, it's weird stuff, just to be funny and just to be, a good, build relationships.
Exactly. And that's something else that's not talked about enough, too, is the more relationships you build, it's also, A, like you were talking about, I every shipper and receiver I go to, no matter how nasty they are to me, I smile at them, sprinkle my little fairy dust on them, blink my eyes a couple times, and eventually they come around. They'll come around and they'll start
They'll come around.
smiling, and then I'm just yeah. And like you said, they'll remember you. All of these places. I went to a place today in Connecticut. I've only been here twice now, and
Mhm.
I went. I don't know, probably 6 months ago. I pulled up, and as soon as I got out of the truck, they knew exactly who I was. Hey, you're the girl who, fell off the back of the truck, which I did, but that's a story for another time. And I'm like, yep,
Awesome. Like I
that's
said, a
me.
relatable story.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's just like they and it's not they bump me in front of everybody. They're like, "Hey, you know, we got you. Come on up." And I'm like, "All right." Like, cool. Cuz they know not only am I nice, but I get in the back and I help them unload it. I tell them put a pallet jack in the back and I got you. It's it boils down to making positive relationships, which I did do a video on, and also networking. People do not look far enough in the future, especially one day. If you want to be an owner op, network. There are people out here that if you can create those friendships and those bonds with, potentially you could have yourself a network of people when you are ready to make that jump. They are already right there for you.
Work smarter, not harder. I have a great network of friends.
Exactly.
A great network here in Chicago. A great network. Awesome. Like I'm not. I'm blessed. I can't even lie. Like you know, I'm just, and I'm one of those people that constantly bless people with information that they wouldn't have if it wasn't, for me bumping my head or going through whatever I'm going through and telling them like, nah, don't do that. Just cut through this way. Boom, boom, boom. Call this person. Tell them you want to do this, this, and this. You good. You in there. And a lot of people
And
don't have that.
and yeah, and it's so funny because we're back full circle. A lot of people don't have the mental capacity to think that way. I know a lot of drivers, even with, the company I'm with, they will watch
Mhm.
me struggle. They will watch me go down the route that's either, not truck friendly, or they'll just sit back and say, "Well, I had to do it. Now she does."
Yeah,
No.
that's terrible. Like that's so
It's
terrible.
it's ignorant. Like, what
Yeah,
if, what if I end up somehow killing somebody or someone else simply because you wouldn't open your mouth and say, "Hey, there's an easier way to do this." That's just ignorant.
yeah. And when I was working more local, I had a network of friends that was basically doing the same things. And if we ever got hung up at like for instance, rail yards, I have some weird things going on sometimes. We call each other and say, "Hey, man, they doing this bullshit over here at the rail yard. You might want to, it's a train just on here. So if you was on your way, you might as well stop and get you some chicken wings or get some gas or something, coffee, whatever. Like, just relax. Don't be in a hurry to get here because you ain't going nowhere. Like, it's screwed. Like, or you can call." Or don't even get in your car. Don't even get in the truck. Don't even start the truck yet. Don't start your clock yet because they shut down. You know what I mean? It's just a little information like that. You know what I mean? Or waking up one day and not knowing that it's a snowstorm coming and having that one friend and be like, yeah, that snowstorm's coming out of Wisconsin. Like, yeah, okay. You might say, I'm going to Indiana anyway, so that's cool, but thanks for the heads up. Or you might end up saying, damn, and them sons of mother suckers, they sending me to damn Wisconsin today. No wonder they sending me. You get to have that conversation. Like, yeah, I bet. No wonder I'm going to Wisconsin because they knew the blizzard was coming. I bet they could have sent some. Start doing that. But that's how it goes down. It's good to have people like you said that is not going to let you go down a wrong rabbit hole. You know what I mean? They run into the snake.
Exactly. I just don't understand why I presented that way. And, every truck stop I've been to, you know it. You pull in, all eyes are on you, especially if you're a female, and they'll sit back and watch. They'll let you get all messed up, screwed up, turned around, backwards, blindsiding, before they'll come up to you and say, "Hey, there's an easier way to do this." But for some
Yeah,
reason, and it all boils down to misery loves company. I
yeah,
had to do it. Now she has to do it. And
yeah.
that's one thing. Yeah. And I try to tell everyone the purpose for me talking about a lot of the things that either I want to talk about or have talked about,
Mhm.
it's not for pity, it's not for other people to, feel bad for me. It's because I know if I went through it, someone else is either going through it, about to go through it, or has done it. And if I can help one person and make their life easier to where they won't make the mistake that I did, I'm happy. So,
Yeah, that's a fact
but
though. You know what's crazy though? It's another side of that too. Like, and I hate to say it, and but it's reality, and reality sucks sometimes. Like, I'm the type of person that helps a lot of people as well and give out information, and you get to a point though sometimes where you have to sit back and you got to look in the mirror sometimes because you'll get the man, fuck them niggas attitude. Like, man, I'm not helping nobody else because people will burn their fucking bridges. Like, people will run you over. People will take the information you give them and use it the wrong way or fuck you over with the information. Or, people will, take things, or they'll take something you said that maybe you meant, maybe you didn't, or, you just was having a bad day or whatever, and use certain information against you. And, and that's why it's like it's hard sometimes helping people because them same people you help will slash your fucking tires. You'll come out and your fucking drive tires, they do some weird shit. Put some water in your goddamn fuel tanks and so just weird shit. Like people are weird like that. Same people that you help, I apologize if I can't cuss on your platform because I've been letting it go. I'm sorry. I meant
oh,
to
you're
ask you that
good.
earlier. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I cussed on my platform, so I didn't. I apologize because some people don't, they try
Yeah.
to keep it cleaner. I apologize. I
And
should have.
the crazy oh, you're fine. The crazy part about what you just said is it is the sad reality. I have actually had two students. Your girl's a trainer now. I don't know why,
Look at that.
but
Look at you. Look at you.
oh yeah, we ain't even. I'll have to talk about that off here because it's been an experience to say the least. But like,
It's a balancing act sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I refuse to let somebody allow me to be bitter my whole damn life. I'm not gonna be this bitter old man that's just looking out the window like, hey, look at them kids over there. Just whatever. Kids will be kids. People do stupid shit. I mind my business for the most part. I don't care what people do. But it's a balancing act because you'll help people and they'll burn you, and then you'll turn around and have this attitude like I'm not helping nobody else. But it's up to you to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, that was that one person or those jackasses. Look how many people that you help that really do appreciate it. And you got to use those as the example, not the people that burned you, not the people that, shitted on you or tried to get you fired or in trouble or did some weird shit to your truck or, it's just a lot of it's bullshit. It's a lot that you got to deal with, when you because to be honest, with money comes envy, and with envy comes jealousy, and with jealousy comes a lot of fire and fury and rage. And sometimes people don't even know if they're at the fire and fury and rage part or the envy part, because envy could be seen as something that's innocent. I envy plenty of people. It's nothing wrong with being envious. You know what I mean? That's not a problem. But if you let your envy turn into jealousy and so on and so forth, you got to keep a cap on it. You know what I mean? Because I look up to a lot of different people. It's a lot of different people that inspire me and motivate me that I'm envious of. But I don't let that get me to the point where I'm like, screw him. You know what I mean? Like he think he all that, and or she thinks she's a hot potato. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. That's why she's a hot potato. Like who says that? Nobody says that. Nobody says, "Hey, look at her. She thinks she's a hot potato."
well, we
I'm
gonna start saying it now, so
right. I'm
it's all
trying to keep
good.
it clean. I'm trying to keep it. But yeah, yeah, I think it's awesome. Um, bringing light to the mental health and the physical health. I just want to tap in while you was talking and tell people don't go local thinking that you're gonna have a regular life. You'd be surprised if you think that OTR is hard and it's hard to hold on to your mental health and your physical health because you're over the road. and you think you're going to come back home and get a job driving trucks and it's going to be much better, it's going to be much worse. Local people work way harder than OTR drivers. And that's the honest to God truth. I've done both. I'm not trying to put a, trying to make it seem like, one side's better than the other, because we all know OTR drivers make more money than local drivers. And that's a fact, period. Is that there's no dispute to that. There ain't no, people could say that local drivers make just as much as OTR. Yeah, maybe certain hazmat moving, people that are in a cushy situation and move hazmat or doing some type of specialty. Yes, it's possible, but the reality is no. OTR is definitely where the money is. But as far as who works harder, oh, it ain't even a question. The local / regional guy. I mean, you just ask anybody after you do your 11-hour shift and you did your 30-minute break, whatever the case may be. Usually setting up for the next whatever, trying to get your miles in, and you might not even see a person that whole day. Or if you do see a person, you're gonna see one person. Then the next day you might not see nobody because you've already dropped your load. Now you're going to the next place, grabbed your empty, or you've been, you're keeping the same trailer. You dropped off a load, you got empty. Now you're deadheading to the next place to get whatever you got to get. Ain't no telling. You might not see anybody or have to bump a dock or nothing for a whole day. That is impossible in local work. You're going to talk to a lot of people and bump a lot of docks and squeeze into a lot of tight stuff. You're going to be in the cities. You're going to be dealing with jackass people inside the inner cities that, coming in and out of residential areas, and they're going to be beeping their horn at you and get out of the way. And you got to deal with that, whereas OTR is mostly interstate. Do you deal with a little bit of that? Yeah, of course. But compared to local, what? Please, it ain't even close. It's not. And then the tightness, most of the stuff, it's tight. Like, it's crazy how tight this stuff is. Like, you're gonna get some real backing. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. If you work in local jobs where you got to go here to here and make all these stops, you're gonna run into a lot of places that's like, man, I don't even know how people even. I got to see somebody do this first. You know what I mean? Like when I first started, I used to sit back and I wouldn't even be first in on my appointment because I would literally sit back and wait for a driver to come and do it and then mimic that because I couldn't see it in my brain how to do it. And I used to be like, man, how the hell are they? This is tight. Like, and they want me to put it right next to the garbage can. Like, don't they know the garbage can is sitting right next to the dock door? Like, these poles that the person that works there has their car parked right in front of the dock door or whatever the case may be. So when you try to swing it around, it's like, dude, move your car. But then you see other truck drivers doing it. It's like, oh, okay, that's the angle. And then, and then you feel real bad when somebody comes in with a long nose Pete old school and they swing that thing like it's, nobody's business. And you're like, damn, he swung that big son of a gun. And I know I can get my truck in there, So it's just like,
Exactly. Now I do the same thing. I sit back, I watch, because I have a hard time, like you said, envisioning the angles. I'm getting a
mhm.
lot better now because I'm watching, I'm learning, and I'm doing it obviously myself. But yeah, you have some of those long nosed Pete's come up in there. I struggle to get in, and
Just
I'm looking at him like,
embarrass you.
ha, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
he
he
just
come in,
embarrass you with the
stand,
door
yeah,
open. He
standing
just,
exactly, standing on a step, just
yep, standing on the
looking back
step,
like, how
just,
you doing?
yeah, hey, what's up? Chunking you the dude smoking his cigarette I'm like, man, this dude's a
Signing
gangster.
paperwork.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all done seen them
Uh,
gangsters. They come through with them long nose. I'm like, I would be in a dock door. Like literally, it was this place in Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin. I was delivering four locos. All right. It was a load of four locos, heavy as hell, like 44,000. Um, it was a dock door next to a brick wall. Okay. I get my
ugh.
door. They give me the door. I'm like, okay, cool. Not the brick wall one. Good. I've done the brick wall one plenty of times, but I'm like, man, don't give me the brick wall. Don't give me the brick wall. Put it in 5. Cool. As long as you can say 4, we good. Guy comes in, long nose Pete. He gets 4. I'm like, and I'm in 5. And next to me is the space and the brick wall. I'm like, and in front of us is like a food donation, like a pantry place, where people come that, less fortunate people come and get food or whatever the case may be. The building is really close though. So it's hard to swing it around, without, and it's a pole and it's a driveway. It's like you're in like a regular city environment. So it's stuff around. It's a regular docking type area looking like it looks industrial, but it really isn't. The area where you have to swing the truck is not that industrial. It doesn't get industrial till you get further down the street for real, for real.
Yeah.
He comes in along those Pete, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I can't wait to see this. Plus, we got snowbanks. It's Wisconsin. It's the wintertime snowbank. So you got to miss the snowbank. It's just so much crap you got to miss. He comes out smoking his square, hanging out the thing, I'm like, this dude is raw. Like one take shot. He like maybe got a half a pull up. He did a half a pull up and he was good to readjust a little bit. I'm like, damn. Like,
see, oof.
But I can do that type of stuff too now. But back then it was like it was amazing. But now it's just like it's not a thing. Like every now and then I get spots that's kind of tight, and I'd be like, this ain't gonna be fun. But I'll get in there. You know what I mean? There ain't too many spots that's too tight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's one thing I've kind of had to teach myself is I'm here, I gotta do it. There's no choice. And once
get out
you
1,000 times if you have to.
exactly, and that's what I do. I will sit there. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who wants to sit here, scream and yell, call me all type of names. First of all, you should be lucky because if I was dumb, then I would just back up and take the whole side of your truck out. Like, I mean, I don't care. Shit ain't my truck. But anyway, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna make sure I have plenty of room. But I've learned now that I'm not scared of shippers and receivers anymore. At first, when I came out, as soon as like I would get my most of my trip done, that's when my mind started turning of, oh no, what if this shipper's tight? What if I have to blindside? What if I have to do this? Now, I've done. I wouldn't say I've done it all, but I've done a lot of crazy stuff. I've had to do a blindside 90 off a major street in Atlanta. I've had to back
That's
down
tough.
roads and, huh?
That's tough. That's about as tough as
Oh,
it gets almost.
I'm gonna tell you what. I would rather do now. This is sight side a 90 than a 45. For me, I don't
Yeah,
like the angle of a 45.
I
It
love
does
it.
not make sense.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love 45s. Anytime a
Ah,
blindside 90, no thank you. I'm good on that. I do not want to do no blindside 90s. I love
no.
blindside 45s. I love them. They ain't even hard to me, honestly.
You gonna have to teach me one day, cause first of all,
It's
blindside gets me tripped up. I don't like 40. I don't know when I'm doing a 45. I always feel like I'm gonna hit something, and for some reason, the angles. Like I understand that even though my trailer looks like it's gonna hit in it's not. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm gonna smack this trailer. But nope, I'll do a 90 before I'll do a 45.
the 45s. I'm already like most of the time because I had this spot in Wisconsin, another spot in Wisconsin. Wow. That I actually had to go to was up by Green Bay. I think it was in Green Bay. Yeah, it was in Green Bay. When I pull up and the blind side is on, my passenger, this is the blind side on my passenger side, and I pull up and this is the parking, and I'm pulling the truck up. When I swing and come back, my trailer is pretty much already lined up. I'm just really just swinging that thing. I'm just making sure, I'm just getting out to make sure my tail light is where it needs to be. So when I start my swing and then come back in and get behind it, I'm good. You know what I mean? I definitely still get out on all blind sides. I'm not like ridiculously talented like that. Like there's guys out here that don't even get out or nothing. They don't check when they do blind sides. I'm getting out. The least I will do is the least I'll do is I'll pop the brake, get out, and open my passenger door and look out. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to see them, but if I can't, I'm getting out. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not cocky like that where I'm just not gonna look, you know what I mean? But most of the time when I'm doing 45-degree blind sides, I'm on my trailer's already lined up. I'm just really just cranking it real quick and then getting behind it. And I'm good. And it falls in. But those 90s, for some reason with those 90s, when I go to get behind it, I'm already like starting to turn too far. And it's just like, God damn it, I'm not used to looking at that angle. Like, I'm not used to looking at the trailer moving from that angle. So I always crank it way too hard before I get behind it. And then I get to doing the second guessing myself and getting behind it too early. And now I'm too far over on, it's, but I'll take the 45 any day out of the week on any parking situation. Any
See,
I'll take the
and
45 any day.
you see, that's the dumb part about me. I'm the dumb bitch. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You cussing some, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm the dumb bitch who will pull up to a spot where I can straight back, but I'd rather do a 90-degree back rather than just do a straight back. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know what it
crazy.
is.
You're a
See,
psycho.
that's what I've gotten so many times, and even I feel so bad for my trainees because they get so mad at me. Um, they're like,
I'm
"Well, why
used
don't
to
you just
everything.
get right?" They're like, "Why don't you
I'll
just
pull
pull
up
up?"
in
I'm
a
like,
parking spot. You're that type of person. You won't pull into the parking spot in front of you. I'll pull all the way into the other parking spot and then do a straight. Like I don't listen. If the
"Nope,
space is there, I'm using it. And I'm making this easy. This is gonna be easy. If I can make it where it's just dumb easy for me to get, I'm doing it. I'm using it because I've gotten my practice in on doing like dumb shit, like doing the stupid blind sides and trying to park in the dumb tight spaces, the 90-degree tight rail yard shit where the fucking trailers are damn near there. Ain't no damn near, they're rubbing as you're putting it in. Like it could be
mm-hmm,
a straight back, they're rubbing, but there ain't no other spaces. So either you gonna rub these boxes together and get in and get out. And then by the time it's so tight that when you get in and pop the brakes and take off the airlines, I had to be on my knees under there cranking the crank handle. Like there's no standing up. Like I'm under the trailer, like just like trying to get like it's. I've done it. So if I got space or anything, I'm using it. If I got any easy, any outs, I'm using them because I've done my time. I'm not doing that weird shit no more. Like if I slip, bust my ass on ice, snow, all type of shit in the dark, cold. Forgot my gloves. Now I'm touching frozen glad hands
oh,
and shit, and dealing with just the cold weather and shit with no gloves. Like, man, you ever been out in a fucking truck doing truck shit in cold weather in like the Northeast or the Midwest and with no gloves? Like, man, shit, I've done my time. I'm not dealing with that shit no more. I ain't doing
I,
none of that weird
oof.
shit.
I'm gonna tell you what. So I don't. I'm pretty sure a lot of what I run is the Northeast.
Mhm,
I'm mainly a lot of my loads are either to New York, Connecticut, Vermont, Maine, whatever it may be.
mhm.
Well, I learned my lesson because I love my Crocs. I'm always rocking the pink Crocs. And I am from Virginia, so I've never experienced real ice, real snow, nothing. And I learned my lesson the hard way about these trailer doors with wind. I walked to
Oh
the
my
back
god.
in my little Crocs. I said, all right, time to open these doors and get in this dock. Well, it's like maybe an inch of ice on the ground. So I grabbed the door and I'm holding on to it pretty tight, but a gust of wind come across literally flung me, and I'm holding onto the door, so it's just like a big parasail, flung me across that ice, and I was literally on my like sliding on my hands and knees, and I had road rash so bad I was picking gravel out of my arms.
Your
And
hand,
that taught
yeah,
me a lesson. Yep.
yeah.
First of all, don't wear Crocs in the
No,
ice. Second of
no.
all, if that hold on to that door, make sure you got good footing. So,
Once the winter time comes, towards the end of November, really towards Halloween. Once the winter time comes, there is no more comfortability when I'm driving. I don't drive with like today. I was in flip flops all day. I didn't even, you know what I mean. I didn't. It's no pressure. Once the winter comes, I got a specific pair of shoes that I wear, and I don't take them bad boys off from the time I start my shift to the time I'm out. Like I'm not. I've been listen. I know better. Like I know, but I never did wear. I'm not a flip flop guy like that. Anyway, I just started getting comfortable with wearing like flip flops and Crocs and bullshit when I come in and out of the truck. I just started that. I don't like it, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Like I feel so vulnerable every time I get out of the truck or go into the truck and I got on flip flops and I don't have no shoes. Like I don't, I don't like it at all. But and I keep a pair of boots in the wintertime. I keep a pair of boots. I got these Reeboks that I love. They beat to hell, but they're perfect for the wintertime for me for getting in and out and doing shit. And like they're real good shoes. But I still in the wintertime have a pair of boots in my truck, a real coat, not just a jacket or a hoodie, a real coat that I keep in the truck, and a pair of thick ass gloves and a couple of skull caps. No fucking trucker hats. Not trying to look cool with the little bent brim and no skull caps, regular skull caps, or and a neck gaiter that I could slide over my mouth. But since the pandemic, it's been real sweet with the masks in the wintertime. The masks actually work pretty good. So not those medical masks, like a real mask, like something that has some cloth on it. Don't get out with that medical mask thinking that shit's gonna cut through no wind. That shit's gonna, man, your
No.
goddamn cheek gonna fall off your fucking face with that dumbass mask on. You gotta have a real mask, something that's gonna be tight to your skin and cover your face. You know what I mean? Because Chicago, like, man, it's cold. It gets really, really
Yes.
serious out here. So,
Yeah, one of our main shippers is up in Buffalo, and I'm gonna tell you what, that wind coming off of those lakes mixed with the snow. I'm gonna tell I learned my lesson. I was like, like you were saying, just a sweatshirt, little hoodie, and pair of jeans, and some sort of shoes. I got a problem with boots though, because I got to keep my feet pretty, so I can't wear no
okay,
boots.
okay, pretty girl. Okay. Now
I'm
let
just
me
saying, I would rather be miserable for a couple minutes and keep my feet pretty than to mess my
now
feet
let
up.
me Now let me tell you, there's plenty of times in the wintertime, like it ain't guaranteed. Like I'm not gonna it ain't guaranteed I'm gonna wear all that bullshit, the heavy coat, the boots and all that shit, the big gloves, you know what I mean? For the most part, I just wear the Reeboks and a hoodie. I put my skull cap on, put my hoodie all the way over, tighten that joint, get out, do what I gotta do, crank the landing gear, put the airlines, electrical lines on, check my seals and shit, do all the regular shit, kick some tires, slide some tandems, I get in and I get out. But there's been so many times that something goes wrong, especially in the wintertime. The landing gear won't crank. The gearbox is froze in that bitch. Like the lube in there, everything, it's all froze. So that's just putting up a fight. So I'll literally be like, you know what? Break time. Take my ass back in the warm truck for a little while. Do one of these numbers on the vents. Then when I come back out, it's time for big coat, big gloves. And I'm gonna get my ass down and dirty, and so I can buy myself more time, so I'm not fucking freezing. But there's plenty of times I run out there and I'm thinking it's a regular day. But you don't know when you work in the winter for real, every day, all day, every day. Especially if you're a Chicago guy and all your loads this week are going to Wisconsin, man, shit. You don't know when that day's coming when the hoodie ain't gonna cut it. The gym shoes, it ain't gonna cut it. You gotta or when you open the door and they didn't plow yet and you got 2 feet of snow, it's like, oh, yep, close the door back up. You get them boots so I ain't got fucking snow coming up to my damn kneecaps through my pants. You know what I mean? And then now I got to drive around with the wet socks all damn day. You know what I mean? So, it's
That
just you gotta tighten your winter game up. You
I
gotta tighten
need
it up.
to,
You gotta
and
keep
that I
you gotta
guess I'm just gonna have to get ugly feet.
you're
Hell
gonna have
with it.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. I mean, you don't have to. What you can do is get out there, get freezing and get wet and ride around with the pretty cold frostbite feet. I mean, that's they're gonna be pretty and frozen. And bitches ain't
There
gonna
you
be pretty
go.
when they turn black because they frostbit.
You do. You have a point there. I've seen some working feet, and I don't want nothing to do with that. But yeah, I don't. I'm starting to get my winter stuff up. I'm actually, like you said, I'm buying me a real winter coat. I'm going out and I'm buying me some. What do you call them? The coveralls. I'm gonna look like a little hick running around, but that's all right.
I can't do the coveralls. I'm gonna be honest with the people in the chat. You'll never catch me in no coveralls. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh,
That's
come on.
not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. All I do
Ah,
is the basis of my winter operation is tucking my pants in my boots, tying them up tight, so can't nothing creep up my pants, and that's it. I'm not doing the coveralls like the mechanics. Like every mechanic I know got two, three, four pair of coveralls, thick ones, the big dumb stupid thick ones. They out there laying in the snow in them coveralls. They just laying there working on trucks in the snow. In the snow. Like I'm just like, man, y'all some gangsters out here. Like y'all outside working on trucks. Like, yeah, the
mm,
bay's full. We want to get these trucks done, make this money. We gonna get out here with these coveralls on, and they be warm. I mean, hey, if they good with it, I'm great. You know, I don't. I'm not wearing no coveralls though. Not if I can help it. If I was in Alaska, maybe, but I'm
I
not doing
just
coveralls.
I like them because I ain't gotta wear pants with them. I mean, I probably should,
Yeah,
but hey, it's like a big onesie.
you just want to have your yams out underneath the cover.
I mean, hey, why not? If they insulated, if they're like a jean coverall, nah. But if they're
Yeah,
like a good type, whew, them jeans with no nothing on, nah. But if, like I said, if they're cushiony, maybe a little cotton on the inside, maybe insulate a little bit. Yep, commando it is. I don't even care.
I ain't mad at you. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, yeah, I definitely want people to know though. Don't think that going local is going to improve your mental health. Don't think that taking a different job. You'd be surprised how good you got it with OTR. I thought it was harder. Thought OTR was like rougher, and then I came home and I was like, oh shit, this is trash, bro. I was getting used to not talking or seeing people for like a day or two. The New York to Cali runs, even when we were teaming, I wouldn't see or talk to nobody for like a day and a half. Like I ain't backing nothing. It's all 40. I'd be on 40 for like a day. You know what I'm saying? I start 40 in Tennessee or somewhere, I'm on 40 for like a whole day. I wake up, go to sleep on 40. I start my shift on 40, finish my shift, go to sleep, wake up. We still on 40. And I'm still got to do a shift on 40. Like, so that compared to, oh man, the load's late. Oh, you gotta go over here and yeah, the load's not off the train yet. And oh, we gotta they didn't pay the bills on this load. So you gotta go call your dispatcher and do this and do all that. And you're running in and out of buildings before you can even grab the load, and this miscommunication. You waiting on this person to send that bill and constantly running in and out. Or oh, one of my favorite ones. Yeah, that chassis that box is on is it's not good. It's something wrong with it or whatever. It's not clear to leave. So you got to go get the box flipped off of that chassis. Got to go find another chassis, put the box on that one, and then you could leave. And the double whammy, you get it on that chassis, and they say, "Oh yeah, something's wrong with that chassis too." It's like, you know what? I give up. Fuck it. I'm going home. I ain't. This load's not leaving today. Fuck y'all. I'm tired of this. Like I can't keep doing this. Like I'm done. Like I'm done. Not a real person that really thirsty, really need to get the money or whatever. They gonna keep flipping them bitches on them chassis. But person like me, I'm not. I'm second chassis bad, and y'all didn't tell me. Y'all can't point me to a good chassis. Y'all got me playing the chassis box flip game, and I got to get back in line and wait on this fucking crane and all these truck drivers to lift it. Man, fuck y'all. I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm calling my dispatcher. Listen, I just got another flip. They told me the same shit. I'm done. Take me off the board. I see you in the morning. This truck is parked. We done. I'm done. It's a wrap. I can only take so much. Like it's not. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
Load over.
y'all can have that.
That's fun. And then like I say, now we getting into that 16-hour exception rule. You spent 2 hours in the rail yard. That just fucked your clock all the way up. Unless you smart enough, or I wouldn't even say you smart enough. You lucky enough to where you didn't start your clock and you doing all this bullshit off duty inside the rail yard. You doing PC or off duty, or you're not burning into your 14. Because I've learned my lesson
Mm.
over the years. I used to start my 14 a little too early before I knew that the load was secured and everything was good, and I'm on my way out the gate. I'm out. I got my ticket and everything. Fuck that. Like, I'm not starting my clock and pre-trip and all that till I know I got the load connected to my truck and I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Like, everything's good. I got my ticket. We're good. Now I'll go on duty, do a pre-trip, do all that shit. Even though I've done all of that already, I'll sit for 12 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Act like I'm doing a pre-trip. At that time. So the truck's not moving or whatever. So at that time, I'm doing a pre-trip, but I've already did that. I've already kicked the tires and checked every fucking thing and slid the tandems and I did all that weird shit already. So I'm just really just sitting there, thanking God that I'm about to get up the road and get this load and I ain't got to deal with no bullshit like them stopping a train on the tracks and now I can't get out of the damn rail yard for an hour. So it's just one of them things, like I say,
Exactly.
if people think that this local shit or the regional shit is easy, it's not, man. It's not easier. What it is you get to, like, you can get some constant booty meat. That's true. That's a fact. You know exactly where you're going most of the time, so you can keep constant booty meat. Like, whether you got a girl or you single, you could keep, your sex life. You can have one. You can have a sex life. This is true. And you could basically enjoy the type of meals that you like to enjoy, like certain spots that you like to go to. You can have favorite spots, like, okay, I'm over here, I'm gonna go here and eat this, you know what I mean? But other than that, that's it. I mean, you could pretty much get the same, most of the favorite spots that you like to eat. You could do that shit OTR, you know what I mean? Like, if Popeyes don't make you happy, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell
And
you.
that's what I'm saying. I I feel like I'd gain weight going back local because I would find these spots that I like going to. I know they're accessible. Now, I mean, half the time my diet is restricted simply because I'm still trying to do the whole vegetarian thing and I bring my own food for the most part and prepare it in the truck. But if I'm local, man, my ass is going to be eating all the good food.
You can,
So
and you
you
can, but I don't know. It's weird, You can maintain your, and of course you could do all the other shit like maintain your diet a lot easier if you local too. That's true. You can. You should know if you local or regional. You should know exactly where most of the WalMarts or places that you like to shop, like grocery shop or whatever. You should have a system developed off certain interstates that okay, I'm gonna pull over here, run in here real quick for 10, 15 minutes, get back in the truck, boom, get all the stuff that I need, water, whatever. If you fucking with cauliflower or whatever type of shit that you like to whip up in your truck while you sitting at the receiver, healthy shit that you like to eat, soup, whatever. Um, you should be able to stop at those places. You should know all the places at the a couple months that you like to stop because you're going to the same places all the time for the most part. So it is easier than over the road, like far as like, because you don't know shit in Colorado if you've never been in the state of Colorado or Oregon. Like, being OTR, you could definitely go places every day that you never been. You know what I mean? Cities you never been. It's possible. Is it likely? Not really. Most of these expressways you start learning when you OTR, and they usually keep you bouncing back and forth down the same lane because it's easier to book loads like that. It's easier for your dispatcher to be like, oh, okay, he's gonna be over here. So boom, we're gonna get him out of Fontana, take him back to Jacksonville, out to Jacksonville, go to New York, back to wherever. And then, once you get to Fontana, you're doing the same shit back to Jacksonville. You might do some weird shit when you get to New York, bounce around the Midwest a little bit till they can bounce you all the way back west. And then, you know, so, it's just one of them things though. It's OTR is good for the money. Mental health is also good. You got peace. Um, and as far as physical, like being able to get out and do shit, OTR is it's perfectly fine. Like you should be able to stay in shape if you want to be in OTR. Local and regional, you there's no time. You just don't have any time. There's no time. The
Not at
time
all.
is not. It doesn't exist. It just you look up one month and you just like, damn, where did all the time go? You was in that damn truck working, going to this place, that ship. That was like, there's no time. There's just no
You're
time.
you're always pressed and on someone else's clock, basically. Always.
Because you got to also figure this. What some people might consider a hard shift, like, oh God, I'm struggling to get in. People got their quotas. They want to do like 600 miles every day. You know what I mean? The real tight guys, they try to get in 687 ish. You know what I mean? Like I got to get in 700 a day or whatever the case may be. I got to get in all of these miles because I got to go 1,000 or 1,900 miles, whatever the case may be. I need to get in this 7, right? And you're just not feeling it that day. The Red Bulls ain't working, the sunflower seeds ain't working. These shows, it's a night shift. You're blinking in and out. That's a tough shift for you. You know what I mean? It's like shit. I can't make it. You trying to do this? You get out. You do some jumping jacks or whatever the case may be. Still, with all of that, you probably still only gonna do a 12-hour shift. You know what I mean? Because you stopped a couple times, and unless you're a jerk off and you just spending way too much time in the truck stops trying to wake up, like you shouldn't be walking around and shit for 30 minutes. Like, get your ass out, buy a soda, get your ass back in the truck. You should be, that takes about 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Let's say you had to stop a gang of times because you're super tired. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. If you stop 7 times for 10 minutes, did some jumping jacks, went in the store, bought something, ate a snack, whatever the case may be, that's still only adding like a hour and some change onto your time. When you local, the shit that adds onto your time, it's not gonna be little shit like because you sleepy or because you need to, stop, and it's gonna be weird shit like the tires are fucked up or this trailer doesn't have any lights or you got pulled over by DOT or the same way station, they've been having a blitz in this area. The DOT been having a blitz in this area. So now you got to do an inspection or some shit. It's just, it's a whole bunch of weird shit that go on with the receivers. Like I say, the receivers doing weird shit that day. The shippers doing weird shit. The fucking rail yard is just like closed or doing something, or you got to wait on a train or, it's just, these are hours. You know what I mean? So like rough days in the local world, it's not a comparison. It's just not. It's not even, to me, it's not even close. On a good day when everything is going right, you can do a 12-hour shift OTR. You do 11, you did your 30 minutes, you did another 30 minutes of screwing off a little bit or whatever the case may be. 12 hours, you done. You in the fucking parking spot, chilling, scratching your ass, watching your favorite TV show. There ain't no such thing as a 12-hour shift in local for the most part. They're all 12 to 14. All of them. There ain't no, if you was coming in home early on some 9-10 hour shit, they gonna find something else for you to do. Yeah, it's more money for you, but they just want to, these greedy bastards, they gonna try to find something else. Like, oh, we see you getting home at 2. Can you go over here real quick on the other side, pick that up and bring that to the yard too before you park the truck? And if you're driving a truck, you can't say no, because then they'll if you're an owner operator, they'll fuck with your loads. You know what I mean? You say no, like, nah, I can't do that. I ain't like, yeah, you can, but you know what? It's cool. You'll make 19. If you used to making $4,000 a week, yeah, guess what? This week you're gonna come in right around 1,900 because you didn't want to do us that little favor. It's shit like that. They play little games. Dispatchers play little fucking games. They do all the time. They don't care how they inconvenience
Petty.
you. Yeah, they're petty
Nope.
as fuck. They don't care how they inconvenience you or whatever the case may be. They don't give a damn. They just see money. They trying to move shit. They got, certain logistics that they trying to do. And I understand it. I understand it. Until you get in their shoes and see how shit works and how the dots need to connect perfectly to hit quotas. then you can't really bitch about it. You know what I mean? Because they're just trying to make quotas so everybody gets paid. Because the bottom line is making sure everybody's checking straight. The dispatcher, the yard guy, you, the chicken that doing paperwork, whoever they got working at the company, the mechanics, everybody got to get paid. The state, it's just with local being an OTR driver where you don't talk to nobody, you just get in your 700 miles, you wake up, get in your 700 miles, find a nice safe place to stop, find you somewhere on the map, say, I'm going to go there, get me something to eat at that place. You know what I mean? And your day is ruined because they were closed early or something. You had your mouth watered up for that, and now you can't get it. That's a bad day. It's like, I'm having a shitty day. Like, that's not a shitty day. Like, local OTR guys, local regional guys have real shit days. Like, it's insane the amount of shit that you got to deal with, like, and people, and it's crazy. It's insane. We don't have any of those easy days where we don't talk to nobody, we don't bump doors, we don't have to do shit. We just drive. That don't exist every day.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, I don't know if I want to exactly
I
go
make it
local
sound
yet,
bad.
because
I make it sound bad, but it's not a bad thing. It's not it's not a bad thing. It's not like, it depends on what you're doing. Like I said, you're dealing with the rail yard shit, the intermodal shit, that's a bad thing. I'm not gonna put no sugar on that. Like, it's good money in that shit. It's really good money. You're gonna be rivaling if you do intermodal and you do it right. You're gonna be up there with the OTR drivers. Like, you ain't gonna really see too much of a difference in your money. Like, you're gonna be able to maintain the same lifestyle and buy the same shit and afford the same things as if you were OTR, because you're doing a specialty job, and intermodal requires a lot. And keeping that money is based on you learning the things that you need to learn. You're gonna miss out on some money the first year because you don't know how to fix trailers, you don't know how to replace airlines, you don't know how to do, it's a lot of little shit that you learn how to do on your own, and little tools that you buy to keep you, like, so that you can keep moving. And once you learn that, then the money is good. But before, you're gonna slip up, you're gonna bump your head a little bit. But after you get it down pack, it's great money. It's just a bunch of bullshit you got to deal with. But if you're doing regular drive in shit, it ain't that hard. It is what it is. And most of the places I go now, um, it's sweet, man. Parking's easy, nothing's hard. It's easy. It's a dream. I feel like I'm damn near OTR again. I feel like I'm working for Prime and going to, like, all these sweet places, because I took for granted what I was doing when I was with the league. When I was with Prime, I took for granted some of the shit that, the equipment being good, for one. Okay. The trailers being decent trailers with decent tires, and, like, the chassis ain't all fucked up. Like, if you get a messed up tandem that won't slide, that's rare. You know what I mean? That's so rare. 1 out of every 10, maybe 2 out of every 10. Whereas when I left Prime and started doing the local shit and start doing intermodal, we talking about 9 out of 10 trailers are trash. Trash. Something's wrong with all of them. Like, you have to figure that out. You might have to replace or do some weird shit with the wires to the lights to make your turn signals work, so you don't get pulled over coming back home. Like, you have to figure that shit out. You got to know how to jimmy rig shit and do shit. Keep electrical tape. Keep the Flex Seal shit in there, because somebody might not load you because you got a hole in your trailer. They all be having, like, holes and shit in them. And they're like, oh, we move food. You can't have that. So you got to go in there, get some tape and Flex Seal that shit. It's weird. Like, you got to do shit that you normally wouldn't do. You know what I mean? I didn't.
yeah,
I took for granted having good equipment. I took that for granted. Now that I work with people that have good equipment, I'm like, man, I feel like a spoiled ass little brat. I feel like Nicki Minaj, like I got all pink on, like, I'm just pampered. I feel pampered. You know what I mean? Because I'm used to dealing with a fucking trailer where, like, the air brakes just don't, the brakes just don't work. Like,
That was the
what the hell
biggest
happened?
thing. Like the biggest difference for me coming from Swift to the company I'm with now. Swift has some, and I hate to say it, but some shitty ass equipment. I mean, the trucks are
Mhm.
shit, trailers are shit, and I get it. There's so many of them. Of course, not all of them can be worked on fixed. The company I'm with now, like you said, I feel so pampered. I feel like just such a little, just like brat, like you said. I mean, I don't have to do anything. I get upset now when there's a light out, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to change a light. And it's just
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm just, at this point, I am,
yeah.
ugh,
It's like one of them things. Like I said, yeah, man. It's just I barely even kick the tires anymore. The equipment's so good and shit. Where I'm at now, it's just like I barely have to kick the tire. Like I don't even like. I just go back there. It's got a seal. All right, yeah, it's good. Fuck it, let's go. I'm out of
exactly.
there. I don't
Do a
even like. I
visual
don't
pre
even
trip.
question it. I don't even question it. Like my pre-trips are so sweet now. The tandems are already slid most of the time. I don't have to like. Even if they're not slid, I might not even slide them. I just do wide turns the whole way home. It's like I'm going right around the corner or wherever, dropping this shit. I know all the turns I'm gonna make, so fuck it. The tandems could be slid. Now, if I know, like, nah, when I get here, I gotta let me chill out, let me slide these tandems because I know where I'm going, and it's gonna be tough. Then I'll slide them. I won't be lazy, but sometimes we gone. I'm just gone. Like fuck it. It's not. I'm finna drop this trailer, pick up another. I'm not even checking this shit most of like some of the times because I'm not even holding the trailer that long. It's like whatever this trailer came, that's how it's coming to y'all. I don't. uh Did you know that trailer? I'm gonna act dumb. Like nah, it was good when I had it, knowing damn well I knew them brakes was out. You know what I mean? I try not to do the brake thing. Like let me take that back. Not the brakes. I won't do that. Like when it's something with like lights. I'll be like, I ain't know that light was out. Fuck the light. I don't care about the light. You know what I mean? But like brakes, I won't never do that. Like I'll tell somebody, like, hey, this trailer ain't got no brakes. And then I get the whole talk
Yeah.
like, oh, why did you take it? And then you look, shut up, bro. I used to do intermodal. This is a walk in the park. This fucking trailer's empty, first of all. I used to drive intermodal train trailers, 44,000 pounds on them with no brakes. I'm not, we good. I'm just telling you. So the next person act like a little baby can't do the load because they don't know how to they don't know how to drive trailers with no brakes, which I ain't saying is a good practice you should know how to do. I'm just saying it happens, people. You should it happens. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I know how to drive when I have no if my trailer brakes go out. I know how to. I've done it too many times. Like I know it is not a problem. I'll get the job done because I didn't have a choice back in the day. I didn't have a choice. There was no, you don't get it done, you don't eat. It's like you gonna not
Yep.
drive this trailer and waste $400
Well,
in gas
get.
because you done drove all the
Mm,
way to Green Bay or you done drove all the way to La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's a solid $400 in gas. You just already spent it, and you're not gonna get paid if you don't bring this shit back. You already spent your 400. Ain't no choices now. Now we gotta fix things like, hey, fuck it, put this together, do this. It's gonna get done. I'm getting this done. I'm getting home tonight. I need this money, and I say that to say this because I don't want people to get confused. If you can do something safer, do that. Okay, do that. I ain't telling you to do anything unsafe. I'm just telling you, if you know rail yard people, they know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? For all my people that do intermodal, people that do weird shit, they know what time it is. That's a conversation for us and us only, really. People in the drive-in world and reefer world, you guys really shouldn't even be doing that type of shit because you don't have to like. It shouldn't even be something that you worry about. But like, when you get caught out in the street with a bad chassis that you didn't know was bad and something broke on it, it comes a problem where you have to pay for it. So if you don't figure out how to be a makeshift mechanic while you're out on the road, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So The reason why we did a lot of weird shit is so that we could actually make a living. Because if I spent 600 on a chassis, I just did this load for free. I put 400 in gas. Now I spent 600 on the chassis, whether it's getting the airline fixed or something. Like, that's coming out of your pocket. You are on an op. That's coming out of your pocket. You get a tire blowout, you can't control. You don't know if these tires gonna blow out or whatever the case may be. You can kick a tire as hard as you can, and you get up the road, and it's a wrap. Two of them blow out. That's five. If you get stuck on the side of the road, that's $1,000. You just did the load for free. So you're gonna figure out ways to not work for free. So, but if you have that opportunity where you out, something breaks and you're not paying for it, then get the shit fixed. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm saying this unsafe shit, and I used to do this and I used to do that, is because if I didn't do that, I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. If that's not your situation, you shouldn't even be doing unsafe shit. If somebody else is gonna fix it for you, and you shouldn't be doing unsafe shit. You shouldn't be doing it. Like, if you could just make a phone call and be like, hey, come out here, fix this line, and it ain't coming out of your pocket, you don't have to pull out your credit card and pay $600, then why are you doing that? The reason people like me did it is because if I didn't do certain things, man, I didn't get paid. I just did everything a whole day for free. And it ain't like I just did a regular day for free. I did I almost killed myself for free. I did some unsafe. Something unsafe happened. I did something unsafe. The tire blew, the brakes went out. That's not no fault of mine. I'm not a mechanic. I can't tell when this shit's gonna go out or not gonna go out. I'm not a trailer mechanic, so I don't know everything to look for to know if these fucking brakes are gonna go out. You know, I can't check everything. So when things go out, no fault of your own, and you can't fix it on your own, and you can't minimize costs on doing shit, then you won't get paid. You won't eat. So just be conscious of that when you talking shit about people that do, like, not you, Faith, but people out there listening. Be conscious of that. When you talk shit about people that do unsafe things, just know they're not doing that because they too lazy to make a phone call and tell somebody to come out and fix the shit for free. They doing that shit because if they don't, they just worked a whole day, not only for free, or they did it and it costed them money. So in order for them to make money or break even or anything, they got to deliver this shit. They got to do whatever they got to do sometimes they got to do whatever they got to do to break even. If you put 600 in a trailer and then, you know, two to 400 in the tank, that's $1,000. Most guys that work local or whatever, that's about a day for them, $1,000 day. These guys make 1,000 a day. So you see how quick this shit can add up. It's like, you know, so people talk shit and they be like, look, he talking about being unsafe and this, that, and the third. And yeah, all right. Being judgy and shit. It's like, okay. All right. If I was lucky enough to work for your company, I would just make a phone call and be like, I had a bad day, and get layover pay and get this pay and breakdown pay. And ain't no breakdown pay. Ain't no layover pay. Ain't none of that shit. It's either you do what you got to do or you don't get paid.
And that's not okay, especially if you supporting a family. There ain't no reason for that. But I will say, I hate to cut the conversation short, but your girl got to be up at 2 a.m. and it's
Yeah, my
already
bad.
10:15. Oh no,
I've been
you're
fucking with
fine.
her
No,
out.
I enjoy it. Trust me. I 100% enjoy it, and I appreciate you calling in and dropping all this gems. And you guys, or girls, whatever you are in here, y'all better go subscribe to Podcast or Die Trying. It's always super entertaining, informational, and I love listening to it going down the road because it keeps me awake. So I appreciate all you do and all the content you do, and I appreciate you coming on here and talking me out of some bad decisions.
Can I do a commercial real quick and then I'll let you go? I'll stop talking your ear off because I know I've talked your damn ear off. You've been on here 2 hours.
Yes.
So yeah, I know you got a 2 hour live going, so I know that's kind of long. Podcast of Not Trying. Usually I talk about just trending topics. If you want to come over, subscribe, like, hit the bell or whatever the case may be, leave a comment. I usually cover trending topics, but I do a Cummins talk thing on my platform where I am talking about trucking things. And I do have something exciting and new coming on the trucking side of the platform. Lisa's getting a CDL, so I just was there taping her doing a pre-trip and just doing, rookie trucker stuff, and so you guys will be able to live vicariously through her and remember, like, oh, I remember I had to do that, and or they make you do that now, So it's good conversation, and like I said, most of the time I'm talking about trending topics. But if you have any trucking questions or any questions in general, we're glad to have you over at Podcast Trying and chop it up. And I appreciate Faith for having me on our platform. And thank you, man.
Thank you. You've been amazing. You've been an amazing help, and
Uh, oh,
you're low key a mentor to me as well. I just don't tell you guys because I don't want y'all's head to get any bigger. So
they ain't gonna get no bigger. Trust me, they already big as hell.
I got a big ass head too, so it's all good.
All
Uh,
right, Faith, I'll
all
let you go.
right.
Let you wrap up your show. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being a part. Be
All right.
safe.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, y'all. But this has been a great conversation. It's been a great night of getting the feels and emotions out. And, of course, Law always brings the gems to the channel because they know what it's about. They got the real facts. They've been through it all. They've seen it, and I appreciate everyone who actually has experience in these areas and actually shares it with us. So that's awesome. In my closing statement or thesis, all I gotta say to you guys and girls, keep your mental health on check. If you're feeling unwell, do something about it. Talk to someone, get some help. If you're fine, keep living your life. Go get some good food, relax, go run your miles, make your money, and go buy a new pair of shoes or something. I don't know. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. But keep it safe, keep it healthy, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. I do have some exciting things coming as well. I will be starting 2 new segments in the next, I'd say, 2 months. Yes, I know it's taking forever, but you girls got to buy a bunch of equipment and all that good stuff. Yeah, and look, woo, Podcast That Try says hit the thumbs up, and Queen Lisa says hit the Cash App. I would appreciate if y'all hit that Cash App for these 2 hours of me running my mouth when I should be asleep. Should be asleep. But anyway, again, everyone, aw, aw, Law says help her algorithm. Great content. You guys are so amazing. Thank you all for the support. Again, I just appreciate every single one of you. It gets tough for a girl out here just trying to do better and, you know, bring other people up and support other people and help them. But I'm out. I got to go get some shut eye, but I'll be back soon. The new studio's coming along well. Got a couple more things I got to get, and then the new segments will roll out, which I am super excited for. And I got to get with a couple of you on the channel. That way we can definitely do some content together. Everyone have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Keep it between the lines. Good night, y'all. It's been great.